And I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. I am going to be just detailing out a pixie shag that I did just a little earlier. So the pixie shag I did for my Sharp Scissor Society, which if you guys don't know about that, it is part of a membership program that I have. And what I do is I expand on the back pocket techniques I do on Instagram. And they drop every week, so you get 3 new videos a month, and then I go live once a month and do a combination of those techniques. So today I want to detail out this pixie shag just a little bit. Now I went in and created this beautiful pixie fringe by over directing everything to the center and cutting it off of the round of the head, which causes a nice push out to the sides. I did a little bit of what I call imprinting, which is where I go in and create some short pieces, or actually not really short, but some blunt pieces at the end of the hair. So you get all this really great texture that you're seeing. Now I want to detail it out a little bit and just continue to carve out the pieces. One of the main things I do is I take this comb, and you have to put the comb down. You need to let your fingers do the reading of the hair. So I want to open this up just a little bit more. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to follow the curvature of the hair, just gently carving out. So I'm looking for that C curvature, and then I'm going to come in behind the C curvature and just carve that little piece out. So I'm not taking out a ton of hair, it's just a small amount of hair. But what it's doing is it's giving a little push to the direction of the hair. So a lot of times we think we have to go short to long. And I mean, that does push hair, but what works even better is to carve on the back side of that small little section. That way it sits as a standalone piece. So I'm going to do that again. So if you look here, we've got the hair curving off to the right-hand side. So I'm going to come in on the back side of it, or that C curvature, to give it a little bit of separation. So coming in here and removing. So I'm just carving out that little bit of hair. So it's not a ton, but you'll see that we've got a little bit more separation inside of the cut. Now I do this a lot on long hair as well. When you've got that framing around the face, I come in and go the backwards direction so that you get separation. So once again, right here, I'm going to just pick my piece, so you're allowing your fingers and your eyes to really read the hair. Then coming behind that and literally just carving out right on that C curvature. That is the key, is that C curvature. So I don't know about you guys, but I've loved working with shorter hair and creating these beautiful little fringes. It really makes a difference in the cut. I'm also going to go in and carve out around the ear area. And I love to use V-shaped sections to do this, because what that does is it allows you to maintain length, but you get to get rid of a lot of the bulk. So working right around the ear, I'm going to do a V section right there, and then we're going to take out this hair. Then the other hair can close down over the top of it. So just working that. So I'm going to pull this out vertically and then just carve it out. So coming in and removing a good section of the hair. What this does then is it allows the hair on top to close back over without removing all of the hair. So you still have some softness around the ears, and you get to narrow out your shape. Hi from Chicago. Okay, so let's do a little bit more carving. So just coming along that C curvature. So I'm reading the hair, watching it bend, so you can see where the hair is bending. Just coming in underneath that, and you don't cut all the way through. You just allow that to sit right on top. Now, as I'm creating shapes, I'm always looking towards balance and what's really going to work for the person. And earlier when I created this shape, the distance from the top to the bottom was a little bit too long. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Your client is walking away and you're like, I could have taken that a little bit shorter, or I should have left a little bit more length. So what I always like to do is let my client stand up and then really take a look at what's going on in the hair. And so what I'm seeing in this is that we've got a little bit of bulk here that I want to remove, and I also just want to shorten this shape just a touch. So I'm going to come in from the center and work my way out, that short hair pushing long hair. So I'm leaving all of my softness around the bottom, but removing a little bit of the length. The way that I created this shape, if you can see back here, is I took vertical sections and I worked to a decrease in length above the occipital bone, and then underneath I worked to an increase in length. What this did was it created a really soft shape that you can go back in then and you can decide if you want to keep the softness at the bottom, or like what I'm doing right now, you can take off a little bit of hair. So just shortening this up. But leaving it soft. So I'm leaving those wispies in there and creating that softness. How many of you really love cutting short hair out there? I mean, it's your jam. You just are like, I could cut short hair all day long. How many people? Yes. A lot of people are liking short hair. I love short hair. I feel like the closer we get to the scalp, the more we're sculpting, the more our artistic expression comes into play, and the more careful you have to be. I had a question about my scissors. These are my angel blades, and these are they're $499, and they come in both 6 and 7 inch, and I have them in lefties available as well. We also have texturizers. And coming out very soon with a straight razor. I'm so excited. That's going to be white as well. Okay, so just carving, creating space. When someone has this much hair, or a client has a ton of hair, you kind of have to create space in there for the hair to move and for things to actually settle in. Many times people have so much hair that there is no movement in the hair. And so these techniques come in really handy when that is the case. So finding that curvature of the hair, so just that C curvature naturally in the hair, and then carving on the underneath side of it. You can get some beautiful shapes and really soften up a hairstyle. Now I'm seeing a little bit too much bulk right here in the camera, so I want to kind of reduce that, and I want to create a little bit of interest and be able to see the pieces. So I'm going to come in and create just a few solid pieces on those ends. Now once again, this was one of the cuts that I did today for my Sharp Scissor Society, which is my membership program, and it's $9.99 a month. And when you join, you get 10% off of my tools, so all the scissors, and 15% off of live education. So go and join. Okay. Because the techniques that I do on my Instagram, I do, I call them back pocket techniques. There's something you can pull out of your back pocket and utilize when you're working in the salon and you just need something quick to do to solve a problem. I call it just solving issues with different types of hair, whether it's fine hair, thick hair, coarse hair. I just like to find solutions for different things that people are faced with. And inside of my Sharp Scissor Society, what I do is I go in and I expand on those. So I call them expanded back pocket techniques. So we go in and we do like a 10-minute video on channel cutting. Remember the channel cutting from last year? How could you forget? It was everywhere. But I go in and I teach how and when to use that, when not to use it. How to do this little pixie shag by combining 3 different techniques. And then you get to enjoy those discounts on my events and tools. So just a few more little pieces. Okay, I saw there were several people that really enjoy cutting short hair. I've got a question. Where did I learn my cutting techniques? I would have to say just a lot of years of experience, number 1. But number 2 would be, gosh, I've trained with and taught with Sam Mercado, Tony and Guy, and TG. I'm currently, for the last 12 years, a national artistic lead for KMS, and just wonderful companies. But really, I would say the main thing is just experimenting with hair. Once you gain enough confidence to start playing with the hair as fabric and working with the texture and face shapes and skull shapes, I think that it really starts to open up. I always believe it's not about time, it's about comprehension. So you don't have to be in the industry for a long time to be able to do really cool cutting techniques. You just don't. It takes a long time to learn foundations and classics. Yes, I will say that. But it happens every day. So I think that I learn every day as I'm working. So I hope that answered it. Okay, with that, you can see how we've opened up so much more movement in the hair. I love this question. What do you do when you have a bad day at the salon? I fake it. I heard a long time ago that the difference between an amateur and a professional is that when you're having a bad day, if you're a professional, your client will never know. So I had a gal, I owned the salon for many, many years. I just recently sold the salon. But she would put on her makeup. She was, I think, 6 months pregnant. She would put on her makeup. She would go to the bathroom, throw up, get sick, come back, put on her lipstick. Her clients never knew she had a bad day. So that has always reminded me of that when you're having a bad day, your clients don't really need to know. And you have to pull on classics and on your experience when you are having a bad day. So, and the mask helps. We have to still wear masks at the salon. I talk to myself all the time. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Oh, you can definitely see Tony and Guy background. Yeah, you can. And the same thing, it's the KMS cutting system now, which is a lot of, it has a lot of influence from that. And they also expanded on it and did a bunch of other things. So, yeah. So, yes, I could sit here and carve this all day because there is quite a bit of hair in here. So, there we go. We've detailed out our little pixie shag, given her a little bit more movement and space between the hair. So carving on the back side of that C curvature makes a big difference in how the hair lays. And then also opening up around the ear area with those V-shaped sections gives a really beautiful silhouette and room for the hair to move. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I always love to pop on here and just get your input and your thoughts. So I hope you enjoyed my quick little detailing of the pixie shag. And will you show us how you style the front of the hair? Well, let me put down my scissors. So what I did was I came in and I used a diffuser. And when you bring all of the hair together in the front, the natural push of that hair is going to be down and back. So if you were to look at this from the side angle, I pulled it basically right about here, which then when it falls back, it pushes down and away. So that is the number one thing, is that it has to be kind of cut to move that direction. Then as I was diffusing the hair, I went and I pushed together right here. So you kind of want to pinch this hair because everything happens from the roots. So if we send the roots this way, the ends will continue in a C curvature and they'll push out. So I did not go in and hit it with the blow dryer and just start blow drying. I utilized a diffuser and then also a product, where is it? Here we go. It's called Playable Texture from KMS. And it has like a Velcro technology in it, so it sticks to itself. So it really helps that, kind of that clumping together of hair. So that's what I did, was I just utilized the diffuser, pushing it together, and then kind of tipping out like this. So working with, once again, you have to work inside of that C curvature. So wherever that is, you want to press out. So kind of push and press out. And then to create these little pieces in here, the holes, if you go in, and this is a trick that I like to show my clients, you just push into the hair like that, and you create these holes. So clients are so used to doing this, You know, they pick at their hair and pull at their hair. You have to be very heavy-handed, push, and then create holes. And that's how I styled it. So there we go. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on our next live. Bye-bye.